Hello, welcome to the channel. Thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in. So the best motovlog setup. This is for a wired setup actually, so nothing to do with wireless recording, purely wired. So what I mean by that is you're now watching this video by two audio recordings, one being externally and one being actually burnt straight into the video via that lead. If you see into the camera here, you'll see some leads going into the camera. That's an adapter, which is a USB-C adapter for a 3.5mm jack. I'm actually recording on the Purple Panda. I found that to be the best mic for me. Now there is another lead that you won't see, and that is in my jacket, which is a gain controller. It's a cheap little switch, a little dial switch that you can turn to increase and decrease the volume. I don't even know what brand it is. It's a very cheap one. It was about $10. That's Australian dollars, and that obviously helps to increase or decrease the actual input of the volume going into the Osmo Action 3. This is all being recorded on the Osmo Action 3. So we've got two leads connected together, which are the external side of things, and then we have the actual mic itself connected into that auto gain connected to the little adapter that you see running into the actual camera itself. I'm going steady away here at the allocated or the maximum speed limit along here, which is 70 kilometers an hour. As you can see, visor is up. There is a little bit of a breeze. I'm confident that this audio is not being destroyed. So the actual mic placement is, I've got obviously two running at the moment. One is down here, that's the Purple Panda. I've got another one to the left, which is actually a Zoom mic into the Zoom F2 field recorder. So that's my external recorder I'm using. I've got a few. This one seems to be one of the best ones that I have. I've already been flitting from one audio input to the other, and that would have been displayed on the screen. The reason why I'm using the actual Purple Panda, I did an experiment with this actual Zoom mic and going into the actual Osmo Action 3 by the same setup, the adapter and that gain controller, and then I realized that it actually only records in audio, in mono. So the audio recording is mono only. This recording now will be in stereo. So it's a little bit frustrating that it went to mono for that Zoom. So I just keep the Zoom in its own recorder, external recorder, which does then record in stereo. It only seems to record in mono when it's connected into with the Osmo Action 3 via my little setup I have with those adapters. So for me, this is the best audio. Visor up, as you can see, traveling at 70 kilometers an hour. Slight breeze, not very windy, but I can still feel some air coming in, so you may hear that underneath my audio. But to me, this is the best wired setup anyhow. The reason why I don't use Bluetooth setups is that they do drop out. So if you have any issue with Bluetooth, other items that use in Bluetooth at the same time, they can conflict, and sometimes you get little dropouts as you speak. It might just be a little drop of a word, but anything like that, it's annoying. Yes, if you do use some of the newer branded Bluetooth recorders, like the DJI Mic 2, even the first mic, I think, it records background, so it'll always record into the camera, but also it'll record straight onto the actual unit itself, so you have like a backup. Well, my backup really is always having separate audio, external audio. So that audio now running in the Zoom is not dropping out, it's not via Bluetooth, it's a constant recording. Likewise, now on the Osmo Action side of things, that input, that's recording perfectly. So take a look at this. This is the equipment I'm using. Okay, so in the garage now, and let me show you what I've been using. So the Osmo Action 3 with the adapter being the USB-C to the 3.5mm jack lead there. Then we go with the gain controller. It's best for me anyhow, for my results, to have a gain controller to really bring down that gain to minimize clipping. On the samples of the Osmo Action 3 with the Purple Panda, it did clip a little bit. So yeah, I think I'd probably been better just recording at plus 3 dB along with this gain controller maybe being around 50%. I think I recorded around 70%. As I've mentioned, there's no, even though there's a switch you can move up and down, there's no real way of reading what setting you're on, which is a bit of a downer on this particular product. Then that goes into another little adapter, being a converter from a TRRS to TRS, because the Purple Panda is TRRS for the actual initial connector on its own accord. So you do need an adapter if you want to use this Purple Panda for this particular setup. And moving on to the Zoom F2 field recorder, straightforward setup. This is the Zoom mic that comes with it. It's quite a long lead. You put it into the input of this. There's a screw. You can lock it in place so the connector won't fall out or pull out. With that, you've heard the quality of the recording from this video. This did cost me 250 Australian dollars. It doesn't come with a USB-C cable for charging or for transferring the files, but most people probably have one of those kicking around. But yeah, that's the complete separate audio, the Zoom F2, and on the other example with the Osmo Action 3 you've just seen. But for me, the wired audio recording when you're on a motorcycle, that's pretty unbeatable in my book anyhow. So what's your thoughts on that? Back to the guy on the motorbike now. Some of it is quite expensive. The Zoom 2, the F2 Zoom recorder, I think that cost me about $250. So yes, that's quite an expensive external microphone setup. The actual Boya adapter from the USB-C to the 3.5mm jack, that's relatively affordable. I think it was about $30, and that cheapy $10 gain controller you'll find someone selling somewhere selling that on Amazon or eBay. So for longer term use, I think this is the way to go really. You don't have to faff around with not knowing you're going to definitely have a clear recording, as in the Bluetooth side of things dropping out. The actual gain levels I'm recording at, so in the Osmo Action 3, recording that Purple Panda into that, it's at plus 6 dB. With the little gain controller, that's at around about 70%. Unfortunately, that's a guess because there's no definitive dial on that little gain controller that I have. So I'm not sure exactly where it's at. I'm guessing it's around about 70%. As for recording on the F2 Zoom, but it also has 32-bit float, so that actually sets its own level. So if you're a bit too loud or a bit quiet, it pushes the gain up and down automatically. So let's have a listen with the visor down. So this visor is completely down now. Yes, the whole audio will sound differently now. So this is now the recording internally, with visor down. It will sound obviously a little bit differently. I don't have a neck buff on. It's not that windy today, and I'm confident that this audio will be good. So I'll go a little bit further so you can hear. Again, I'll switch between both the recorders as such. So I'll flip from the Osmo Action recording to the Zoom, and you'll see a graphic for that. So as I'm talking now, just have a look on the monitor on the screen, and you'll see on which audio system we're using. So for me, this is the best wired setup. I don't tend to go Bluetooth really. I've tried it, I've had dropouts. So even though I do have a Rode Wireless Go 1 system, that's good just for walking around and being external that way. I don't use it for motovlogging. So what do you think? Is this a solution for you? Are you have you tried Bluetooth and not been happy with it? Have you tried different mics and not been happy with them? Alright, well, thanks for watching. Hopefully this has been some use to somebody. At least it gives you a bit of a background as to how I record my videos. One of my recently recorded videos, I was not happy with the audio, so that made me push a little bit harder into definitely getting a system that works 100%. I've been testing this for the last week and it works 100%. Alright, well, thank you again for watching. If you've not already subscribed, maybe consider subscribing, and hopefully see you in the next video. Bye for now.